as you start to create formulas, you're going to also want to know what are called functions. So I'm going to state it very simply, and then I'm going to demonstrate it for you. A function sits inside of a formula. A formula does the calculation, whatever it is. But a function is defined to do a particular type of calculation. So let me show you what that would look like, and also show you at the same time what are the most common functions that are ready to go inside of Excel. And by the way, there are hundreds of functions. You'll be glad to know because it will save you a lot of time based on the type of calculations you do. All right, so the first function that we're going to look at is called Autosum. And sum is definitely an addition type function. But Autosum is unique in that there is a button that you click and it automatically adds things together. So I want to show you how it works and then tell you how it thinks so you know how to use it. And by the way, when you learn how these work, it also can have an impact on how you lay out your information. Okay, so let's do an example and then make those points again. So Autosum, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to click here, and instead of creating an equal sign and typing in the word sum and then finishing the formula and the function, there is a button that's ready to go called Autosum, and it's on your Home tab all the way towards the right in the editing section right at the top here called Autosum. And that's what it's going to do, is it's going to show you how to create all these things. So I'm going to click Autosum. And look at that. It puts in equals sum, parentheses, B3 to B6. That colon there is referring to a range, meaning looking at everything from B3 to B6. So I don't have to type each one individually or put it in the formula that way. And then a closed parentheses. So this is a formula, but in that formula is a function called sum, which is addition. So I'm going to hit enter. There I go. So what's nice about that, and what very important to know, is one, it's nice because it quickly puts everything together, and I just have to verify that it's looking at the right information. But also know that when you use Autosum, it looks above. Okay, it looks for numbers going above or text going above, but basically numbers. And then it looks to its left. So that's very important where you do that, because if you did Autosum here, there's nothing above it, so it automatically looks to the left. So you got to make sure that where you're doing the Autosum, you understand it looks up first and then to its left for spaces with numbers. Okay, so that's Autosum. Now let's do sum. I don't have, I do have a button for that called sum, but if you notice, it's basically the same thing. So that's not what I wanted to show you. What I want to show you is what it would look like if you typed it. So I'm going to do equal. Remember, every formula starts with an equal sign, sum, parentheses, and then I drag through here, and then I put another closed parentheses and hit enter. Okay. Now, do you see how much longer that took? So this is why we have software do things like functions. It's to save us time, because we spend so much time building it. Now we want it to calculate as fast as possible. Okay. Another one is called average. So I'm going to click here, do the drop down arrow for Autosum, and choose average. So I click on that, and it says equals average, parentheses, D3 to D6. So what's the average of those four cells? So I hit enter, and it'll be 250. Okay, because remember, we're not starting at 0, we're starting at 100 going to 400. So 250 is actually in the middle of those. Okay, now count is interesting. Let's go ahead and drop this down and choose count, and it tells us really what it's going to do. Count numbers. Now this isn't addition, it's how many numbers are in cells. So if there's text here, let's trust that. Let's try text. It's now telling me there's 3 numbers within those 4 fields, E3 to E6. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. So that's what it does. It counts how many fields have numbers in them. Okay. All right, maximum. What is the maximum number in this group? So I hit max, it automatically looks above there, F3 to F6. I hit enter, and it's 400. That's the highest number, and then you can probably tell minimum for men, hit enter, and it's 100. It's the lowest number within that group. So as you start to see functions, you want to know where they are, and as we go deeper into formulas, we start getting into other sections where you get heavy into formulas and functions. We'll show you all kinds of listings of functions and formulas that can make your life much easier.